Is Nicholas Godejohn secretly a good guy? Now,
The main three things I've learned I think that matter the most, and these are three things that I think these are the only three things that truly matter in life. One is love, two is humility, and three is compassion. Those are the three that truly matter.
we know that Into the Weeds podcast got a FOIA request with a lot of videos of Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Nicholas Godejohn. In those were a few conversations between Nicholas Godejohn and a producer of a documentary about Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Now, in those interviews, we learned so much about Nicholas Godejohn. What we have known so far is that he has an IQ of 82, so he has low IQ. He has high level of autism. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. He was getting disability at the time because he couldn't hold down a job. He couldn't go to school to be able to make a living for himself. In these talks, we learned that Nicholas Godejohn he's been having a really tough time in prison. Now, he was complaining to them that when he was going to court, they were not only handcuffing him, but they were putting him in chains. There were 3 cops escorting him to the court, and he thought that was too much. He thinks they're violating his civil rights. Now, he does realize that because of his autism, there is an American Disability Act, and he feels like they were being violated because he kept telling, the judge time and time again, he was not happy with his lawyer. His lawyer wasn't doing a good job. They weren't getting the discovery that they needed to get. So he was very unsatisfied with counsel. Now, he said he was questioned by police at the beginning without a lawyer present. That was also violating his civil rights because of his autism. He didn't know there had to be a lawyer. He said he never even watched true crime shows or anything like that. So he really thinks all that should have really looked into. Now, he was also telling them, that there's people in prison that have depression. A lot of people don't get the help that they need, but he's a good person. So he likes to make people smile. He likes to make people laugh. And Gypsy just made him out to seem like a very bad guy. Now, he was able to see the Dr. Phil episode with Gypsy Rose Blanchard because they played it in prison. And he was just really upset with the way that it made him seem. He says that he's not the bad guy. He also says that when Gypsy Rose Blanchard was with him, she couldn't run, she could jog, and she could walk, and she took 1 Percocet for pain. So we also see a little bit of a glimpse of Gypsy Rose Blanchard after they unalived Dee Dee. It's just really sad to me that they acted like they were hearing him out. They were understanding, they were on his side. However, when the documentary came out, it's called Gypsy's Revenge. It was very pro-Gypsy. So they really stabbed him in the back. And I really hope that at some point, all this can help Nicholas be able to get a good counsel. If you really think about it, Gypsy was the one that should have been serving a longer prison sentence, not just 10 years. Now, we can go through why this happened, but I just wanted you guys to hear this little bit of a part about him because we don't really hear from him. If we really think about it, this is the only time I have heard him talk freely about what happened. But let me know, what do you guys think in the comments? Does this change the way you look at Nicholas? Let me know, what do you think? In the next